Okay guys, I'm making this video just to give you the instructions of what you need to do during the week that you are responsible for study Unit 2. You all have been in class this week and we discussed the content of this module. So now I'm going to give you the instructions of all the admin things that I want you to complete before the end of your session. If you look at the study Unit 2 in the e-guide, then on the bottom you'll find the HOD instructions. I'm going to open up the HOD task list and quickly go through all the instructions over there. The first thing that you need to do is that you should schedule a meeting for your group. You just contact them on WhatsApp or wherever you guys meet or discuss your arrangements. And then if you decided on a time and a place for your meeting, then you must please go to Google Classroom and place an announcement over there where you can attach the agenda. Now the agenda you can get here on the eFundi page again. There's the agenda template. Please note it's only a template, so you don't have to open or fill in every single field. I just want to know where your meeting is, when, and afterwards, you're going to fill in the attendees for me. If you want them to read or bring or do something beforehand, you can fill that in. And you can tell me in the agenda items, it will maybe only be a discussion of study Unit 2 or presentation of a lesson or whatever you guys are going to do at that meeting. If you are done with the meeting, you can please, between the two of you, write me a little reflection on how the meeting went, that your strategies worked, that everybody collaborated and cooperated well, and do you think you would change something, or was it fine? Were you happy with what happened there at the meeting? And then you can upload that again on the Google Classroom as a final version. I'll quickly show you again on Google Classroom how to post an announcement. So if you sign into Google Classroom, please just make 100% sure that you are signed in with your student number Gmail account. Remember now, you only have 3 study units that you will see here, study Unit 1, 2, and 3. And you, or maybe the one that is actually with you, created study Unit 2. Only the one who created study Unit 2 would have access to that study unit as a teacher. That means that we'll be able to post assignments and those kind of things. I'm quickly going to show you how to change that, or how to invite the other one that were working with you, the other HOD, as a teacher. So you just enter the study unit that you created. You click on About and you say Invite Teachers. You just start typing the student number of the person who is working with you. Click on the name and just click on Invite. And then that person will be a teacher in this site automatically, and they will be able to add assignments and everything as well. Okay, so coming back to the agenda, you need to post an announcement. The announcement name would be Meeting, and maybe the date, 5th of March, and then you can just attach the agenda where you've filled it in or where it is on your desktop, and say upload. So that is, and then in the end you just click on post so that the announcement will then be there. Okay. The pre-lesson activities. Now guys, this is the actual, these things are determined by you yourself. Whatever you want the students in your group to do before they come and attend your lesson, you give them this work. If you don't want them to do any activities, then you can leave it out. I'm not going to assess any of this. That is only for you guys to make it easier when you come together, that you maybe gave them some reading work or something beforehand so that they can participate in the lesson rather than you telling them everything and sitting there, they're just sitting there and stare at you. So please note, if you want to help them to or ask them to do some activities like making mind maps or whatever, then you can upload it again in the Google Classroom by just saying add assignment. You can then say, for instance, if your meeting is on Tuesday, then they must complete the activities by Monday, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and you just name this Mind Map Study Unit 2, for instance. So whatever you do then, you just assign them a task. Okay. And there you will be able to see whether they completed it or not. But as I said before, this is your own work. You can do that for yourself. I'm not going to mark it unless I go and visit your classroom. I'm not going to particularly mark your assignment, but it will have an influence on the way that you design your lesson plan. I also ask of you that you should upload at least 5 resources on Google Classroom for them to use, extra resources. Now these resources will be in the form of maybe a video clip or a web page, anything that you get that's nice for the study unit, extra content for the study unit. So you will add that as an announcement on the side. You just name it, maybe something like video on types of assessment. Then you can just click, there's a YouTube video maybe, you just paste the URL. If it's a link to a web page, you just add the link. If it is a document that you need to attach, you just attach to the document and you post it to the students. So you don't have to use some Google Dropbox or nothing. You just add all the resources you have as announcements in your Google Classroom. For planning your lesson, you can use the lesson planning template, which is in Efundi, to plan your lesson. Again, this is just a template. There is some sections, for instance, this part on the caps that you can just delete because it does not have, you're not going to use it in your study unit because the content is not right. This is for life orientation. So just remove that from your lesson plan and fill in the fields that you can. Please just describe and discuss every single activity that you're going to do in depth, step by step, so that I can understand what you're going to do with these students. I'm not going to be in your classroom, but I need to assess how you are going to present that class or this content to the students. If you are not certain or about how I'm going to assess you, please ensure that you open up the assessment rubrics on Efundi. Make sure that you attend to every single one of those aspects that I'm assessing in your lesson plan so that I'll be able to give you the marks that you deserve. Important thing about the lesson plan, you should upload it for me on Efundi before next week Friday, that is the 9th of March. Both you and the other HOD should upload it on Efundi. Please remember to write both of your names on the top of the document so that I can see who was working together. And even if you submit the same thing, both of you must submit it. Okay, the assessment activity, we talked about this in the class as well. You need to compile a 50-mark assessment activity, which is testing the content of study unit 2. So the lesson that you presented must be tested with this assessment activity. Please keep in mind all the different levels of questions that you need to ask. Do not only ask knowledge questions. Make sure that you ask some application questions as well. You need to submit your assessment activity plus your marking rubric or memo on Efundi. Both of you again before the 9th of March. You should then also add this assessment activity to your Google Classroom. I'm quickly showing you again. Just say plus assignment. You can name this final assessment for study unit 2 and you attach your assessment activity, obviously without the marking rubric or without the memorandum, for your group members, and they should complete it. You are now the teacher for the study unit, so you can decide when they need to complete this assessment. If you feel there's a lot of assignments and things that need to be completed now, you can maybe give them an extra week or 2 to complete this assessment. This is just a guide for you so that you have enough time to mark it. The next thing that I want from you guys is that it should be marked and the marks should be filled in on the Google form before the 14th of May. So the time frames in between is your decision on how you're going to decide when they have to submit what to you. before the 14th of May, you should, here on the bottom of your eFundi e-guide, click here to submit assessment marks. This is where you fill in the marks for the 4 people who did your assignment, and you marked it. So both HODs is going to mark the assignment on their own. The members in your group is going to do the assignment individually. And you are going to mark the assignments, and the other HOD is also going to mark the assignments. And you're going to fill in the marks that you marked on this link. That should happen before the 14th of May. Then after that, I'll communicate with you again, but then we'll come back to the group meeting, the cluster meeting, where we'll moderate the papers. The last and final thing that you need to do is the group evaluation. So again, back to this should also happen before the 15th of May. Back to the eFundi site. On the bottom of the eFundi site, you will see there's 3. The first one I just spoke about. The other 2, it says HODs. Click here to evaluate your group members. So you will click on this link and you will evaluate the participants of each group member on your own. The other HOD will do the same. They will also click here and they will also evaluate the group members' participants in your study unit. The group members will then click on this link to evaluate how you and the other HOD presented this study unit. When they are done with that, you also going to click here and you will evaluate yourself and you will evaluate your other HOD on this group member link. So in the end, everybody is evaluating everybody, and I can get a good idea of what happens in your group. Okay, if there are any other questions, things that's still unclear, please send me an announcement from eFundi, an inquiry from eFundi, so that I can try to help you, and you can come and see me anytime in my office as well. Please just ensure that I'm here, so just make an appointment for me to help you and answer some questions if there are any. Thank you and good luck.